Hello and welcome back to the garden on this lovely sunny day here in Neath, South Wales. You couldn't ask for a better day to get started on potting up my dahlias, ready for the season ahead. So come on, let's get started. I love dahlias in the garden, and they can be put into so many different types of planting schemes. I've got a tropical style garden here in South Wales, and I like to plant the large varieties such as the dinner plate varieties with some really dark tropical colours. And I also like the dark leaf dahlias, as they I find are really beautiful and go well with the planting scheme. But it's really up to you what you decide to plant in your garden, and there's so many to choose from, such as the small pom-pom varieties, there's the huge dahlia dinner plates, and there's also the cactus style, which are really fragile and pointy looking. They are quite large and they're also really nice dahlias, and there's so many to choose from. There's one for every type of garden. I did start potting up my dahlias last weekend, and they're in the greenhouse. Now, some of these dahlias I've had in pots from previous years, and I just bring these inside the greenhouse and just keep them dry over the winter months. But I have added a few more into the larger pots because I wanted some more dahlias in the garden this year. I wanted some larger dahlias in the garden this year, so I've added a few more pots, and these should start coming through now in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And just under here I've got a few more there, just starting off in smaller pots, and when these grow I'll either transplant these into larger pots or I'll pop them in the ground. I have got one more dahlia to pot up today, as I run out of compost, so I had to rush out and get some last night. So I'm going to have to make some room now in the greenhouse, ready to pot up the last one, and I'll talk you through it. So these are the ones that I've already put into the pots. And here we've got a large dinner plate dahlia called Seattle. I do like the dark ones, so I've got an Arabian Night and some pink ones, and they are called Akita. So the ones that I'm going to be planting today are smaller varieties, and this is a happy single dahlias called Romeo, and there's 2 in the pack. And let's get on with opening this packet and see what we got inside. So let's open this packet up. And these ones were just bought from B&Q. And in the past, I have bought some from Sarah Raven. So let's tip these out. So there's 2 tubers inside here, and this is what a dahlia will grow from. And I'll just trim off some of these dry roots, you don't need them all. And I'll do the same with the other one. So these little bits here, the bits that I've cut off, these will not grow into anything, so it's best just to discard these and just pop them in to the green waste. And then what you need to do is to find a suitable sized pot. So it doesn't really matter too much on the pot at this stage, and what I'm going to do is just fill it with a little bit of compost, like so. And I'm using just an ordinary compost with some added joinings. And then the easiest way to do it is just to hold it by last year's stem and gently fill around it. So let's get some compost onto the table. Right, so I'm going to hold that by the stem and gently fill around it. And what you want is you want all parts of that tuber to be coated with the compost. And I find just giving it a shake like so will work really well. So it doesn't really matter if you cover it completely or if you just leave last year's stem just slightly proud. And when it's in the earth, just give that one really good dose of water. And what you need to do then is just leave it for about 2 to 3 weeks and it should start to shoot. And then you can move it into a larger pot or place it in the ground. So let's give that a good bit of water now. Like so. And finally, one thing that I forgot to do with my others is just to pop a label in so you know which one it is. The other ones, I'll have to wait for them to come up because I can't remember where I popped them. So I'll do exactly the same now with the second one and get that on the shelf ready to start growing for the season. So the 2 dahlias now are on the shelf in the greenhouse, all labelled next to the cannas. And the things in here now are really growing. I've got an agapanthus flower. And my mangavi seems to be really happy since I've repotted it. So hopefully now, in 2 to 3 weeks, like I said, these will start to grow. And once they start showing signs of life, just keep them watered. And when they get to about 10 to 20 centimetres tall, then we have to do what's known as pinching them out. And I'll show that in a later video. And once the dahlias do start growing, they will need staking. And if you are growing them in a pot, make sure it's a large enough pot just to keep the plant weighed down, as you don't want them toppling over in the wind. I use bamboo canes for mine and some gardening twine, and I just tie them up every 30 centimetres or so, just to keep them stable in the pots. So you want to keep the dahlias now somewhere warm and frost free while they are starting to grow, and really a greenhouse is ideal for this, or a warm sunny windowsill will do the job just as well. And I hope that this now has inspired you to maybe start some dahlias in your garden. So until next time, thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.